What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Third Eye Cyphs. I'm your host, Natalia, and sorry for my singing this morning. It is a wonderful day, it is a wonderful time, and I just felt the need to sing. Just kidding. No, I just apologize for whatever just happened. How are you doing? How are you? Welcome. Did I mention what this podcast was? This podcast is called ThirdEyeCyphs. Again, my name is Natalia, and this is a podcast for, I don't know, man. No, I'm joking. No, this is a podcast, where we talk about, spiritual endeavors, practices, teachings, philosophies, conspiracies, and today specifically these elections, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And don't moan and groan already, okay? Because that's how I felt. This whole time when all of this is going on, and so many people around me are talking about it. I'm hearing about it everywhere. People are asking me if I'm voting, all this annoying questions, etc., etc. Of course I don't want to talk about this. I don't really care for this, but most of the country does, and the world, so I must address it. So that is what we'll be talking about today, while my cat destroys stuff in the background. So if you hear things crash and break and do a bunch of other stuff, that is her. So first and foremost, how are you doing? It is 6 a.m. for me. So I am waking up. This is my first time speaking out loud for the day. And yeah. So how are you doing? Are you taking care of yourself? I know a couple episodes ago I mentioned the theme of nourishing yourself. That was the theme that my teacher was going with. Especially during these times, are the things that you surround yourself nourishing you? How did they make you feel? How does your energy field feel after you're either watching this stuff or listening to it or talking about it? Do you feel drained? Do you feel more energetic? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel sad? Do you feel depressed, unmotivated, unproductive? Watch your energy, guys. And your energy, like the way you feel about things, are a reflection of your energy. So if you're feeling tired or drained or discomfort, it has to do with with your energy and how your energy is feeling. Your energy could be being drained, and it can easily be drained by things you watch, things you listen to, things you surround yourself with. Not only like a person can actually physically drain your energy, but it can also be the stuff that you are watching or listening to or surrounding yourself with. So with that being said, are you nourishing yourself? Are you taking care of your mind? Are you taking care of your mental health? That is also such a big theme that has been this whole past month of October, going into November, especially entering the winter, is taking care of our mental health. We are entering seasonal depression season, and we need to be taking care of ourselves during these very troubling times, specifically with all the elections. It's so funny because I don't see it as troubling times, but everybody else does, so I feel like I have to address it as so, just to calm everybody down, because it's really not troubling times, guys. It's really not. If it's troubling times, then it's always been troubling times. So it's as much troubling times as it's always been. And for those of you who don't agree, suck it. No, I'm joking. No, okay. I actually have a really good episode idea. I just thought of it, but I'm not gonna say it out loud because then I'll spoil it. Wait, where's my phone? I should write it down real quick. But anyways, so for this episode, we're just gonna be talking all about it. I have an interesting card spread for us since we are talking about it, and the energy was so weird this morning, guys. Literally trying to pull cards this morning, it was so weird. Just so many cards there's so many things that need to be said. There's so much energy in the air right now. Hold on, let me just write down this note of the podcast episode. Okay. Now, okay, so Anyways, besides what we're going to be talking about, I'm glad you guys are taking care of yourself. I hope you're taking care of yourself. This also consists of eating healthy, again, taking care of your mind, relaxing, giving yourself time to rest and relax and rejuvenate. And meditation, guys. Meditation is key. Everybody is just always like, and then like, and this is me too. Like, I am a complete victim of this. Like, absolutely, especially recently, and I don't know why. I'm not a very stressful person. Like, I'm not somebody who gets stressed easily. So I feel like that's something I've been battling with, but I don't feel stressed about anything. I mean, specific stuff in particular, like, stress me out. So I guess it's those things, and then, like, just combined stresses me out. But it's not like I stress over everything. It's absolutely not like that. But I know a lot of people who do, like, over little things that aren't even that serious. But that's also me at the same time, too. So I can't really speak on it. But it's only some things for me, like little, like random little things, but then they add up. But then, like, I know people just stress over everything. And then even if it's not that, even if it's just one specific thing, we need to learn to meditate, guys. We need to learn to meditate. I know I mentioned I was going to do this meditation challenge. I didn't even do the meditation challenge. Even though I'm in it, like, I'm in, like, this group that's doing the meditation challenge, like a social online group. Also, something I need to mention about, I joined it, but I didn't even start the meditation challenge. So, I mean, like, because they give you, like, these different types of meditations to do, and I don't really like them. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll try one, but it's only, like, you're supposed to do it 4 times or 5 times. I don't know. Anyways, meditation is key, guys. Like, literally, like, all of our minds are everywhere, especially right now. Like, the energy is so frantic and so weird right now because everybody's just like running around, losing their minds, stressing over nothing, and it's causing like this weird like I don't know how to explain it, like shaggy or like everywhere energy, like dispersed energy everywhere, like nothing, like it's not really flowing right now. It's just kind of like that's how the energy is right now. So for all of you guys listening right now, if you guys are listeners, weekly listeners, if you listen to this podcast all the time, if you talk to me, if you are on the path of self-awareness, self-improvement, self-realization, I'm gonna tell you now, I'm gonna consider myself your spiritual guidance counselor. Okay, I'm your spiritual guidance counselor in school. ThirdEyeCyphs is your school, and I'm your spiritual guidance counselor. I'm gonna tell you, please calm down. Please calm down. It's not that serious. I promise. Like, it's really not that serious. But it is kind of serious. But it's not that serious. And I'm going to go a little deeper into that as we get into this podcast. But for those of you, if maybe you're listening to this podcast for the first time and you were drawn to this episode because elections, and I love listening about elections and politics and all that world stuff. Great. Then listen. But don't consume, like, disperse your energy like evenly. So what I mean by that, I said, like, the energy is dispersed in the world, like the completely different analogy. What I mean by this one is don't put all your focus and energy into this one thing. Like, you might be saying, well, it's worth it, I'm proud of this country, or blah, 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 or whatever. It's not worth it. Nothing is worth putting all your energy to where you forget to put your energy towards other things that matter, or are equally as important in your life. So, anyways, yeah, I'm glad we're okay. We're just getting back to, I'm glad we're okay. We're taking care of ourselves. So I'm going to jump right into this episode because, yeah. So, let's put an ad here. Okay. Now, the card spread that I got, I do weekly card spreads, so this is our weekly card spread. It's pretty crazy, guys. The energy was crazy this morning, I'm telling you. I didn't even pull these cards, so I'm shuffling, and all these cards are, like, flying out at me, and I'm like, you know I don't take cards like that. Like, why are you gonna try to give me cards like that when you don't, like, because I, like, okay, a lot of people, like, shuffle them. It depends. If I put my intentions to shuffle the cards and one fly out, then that's the card, definitely. But most of the time, I always cut the deck and then I grab a card from there. So the universe knows this. I don't have to explain myself. So I thought it was very odd. And then, like, I don't know, one of them just flew out and went right in front of my face and landed, and I was just, I'm just gonna take it. And then the rest of the cards I kind of pulled on my own, but it was very odd. And the first card I've ever gotten, the one that flew out that I just took, was actually a sideways card, and I never took sideways cards. I either did, like, up or reversed, but I've been watching one of the teachers that teach in my yoga studio, her card readings recently, and she took a sideways card, and I know it's a thing, especially in tarot, but I never took it as, like, in an energy oracle deck. And then the way she read it, it absolutely makes sense. So I was like, you know what, I could take sideways cards. I never thought of it like that. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about her card readings, because she did a pre-election card reading, and then she did a post-election card reading. But I didn't really see too much of the post-election card reading. But anyways, her pre-card reading was very interesting. But getting into ours, so the first card, the one that I ended up keeping that just flew out and landed in front of me, was the Broken Heart card, but it's sideways. It's not right side up and it's not reversed. So the Broken Heart card, now upright this card means, okay, well, first let me tell you what the picture is. I'm pulling from the Energy Oracle card deck from Sandra Ann Taylor. This is number 9, and it is a broken heart, and there's kind of like a teardrop, like, on the bottom of the broken heart, like at the tip. So it's kind of like a tear coming from that broken heart. And right side up, this card usually means that, you just kind of went through something that maybe have broken your heart, or you had disappointed about, and you really can't get over it, kind of thing. But it's basically telling you to heal, that everything is okay. Now, reverse says that, you may have just gotten out of a painful thing, a painful experience, broken heart, etc., etc. But you are now healing, healing energy is now available to you. That now is the time to, get out of that slump, you're doing good, taking care of yourself. So everything is mending, everything is healing. But sideways, my initial interpretation to this, and this is the only reason why I took this card, was because since there's a lot of feelings going towards this election right now. And this, first and foremost, I just want to say, like, when I talk about the elections, I'm coming from a very neutral standpoint. I don't care for either of these people. I'm not really interested in any of them. I'm not against really any of them, even though people feel like I should be. I mean, I just personally don't care. I don't care about a lot of things, especially this. So, I'm not in favor of anybody whatsoever. So, when I initially saw this card, it's like, okay, since there's a lot of feelings, a lot of people may be heartbroken if Trump wins, or maybe they'll be heartbroken if Biden wins, or, upright. Yeah, so upright, that's what that would be. Or, like, upside down, like, okay, we finally got over the elections. We have to, deal with whatever's happening. Or it could be, we're healing in kind of a more traumatic way, where, like, people will be upset whoever wins, and people are rioting because people are going to riot, because that's what we've been doing recently. It's like a new trend. So sideways, I saw this as, especially, like, when I read you the next card, it's going to kind of make sense. It's very neutral at this point. And this is something that was said. You know what? I want to kind of see. I don't know. Okay, so as of right now, it is 6 a.m. on November 6th. I wonder, because the elections were like 3 days ago. But I don't think did somebody win? No, nobody has even won yet. Why does it take, like, days for certain states to decide? I don't understand that. But right now, it looks like Biden is winning the electoral votes. Yeah, he is winning the electoral votes, but then there's like still counting states. Oh wow, PA turned blue. Okay, so PA was leading in red. That'd be interesting if Joe Biden won. But anyways, because I don't know, I had an impression that Trump was gonna win, but who knows? Yeah, it could always take like a random short turn. But anyways, not that I care if he wins. Like, I'm not for him or anything. I just had the impression. But it's possible he may or may not win. But since it is very neutral right now, we're kind of in the middle way. There's a lot of timelines going on right now, and this is something that I've always known. I don't know why everybody's talking about it like it's a new thing, like, oh, well, there's multiple timelines right now, and I think that's what the spirits are saying or something, because I don't personally talk to the spirits, like as a individual. I'm like, hey, yeah, I was just talking to the spirits the other day. No. But I do know people who do talk to the spirits every day like that. One being one of the teachers at my yoga studio. She is an Akashic record reader. And for those of you who don't know what the Akashic records are, they're basically like, oh, man, you just gotta look this up. I don't even know if I can explain what they are. It's kind of like if you guys ever seen Avatar, The Last Airbender, and it's the episode where they're in the desert and they go and find that library that's like underground, and it has like all the knowledge ever, and there's like an owl that guards it, and he doesn't want, he like buried it because he didn't want anybody to find it or whatever. That's like the Akashic records. It's like that library that's hidden, like interdimensionally. It's just like in the cosmos, and it holds all the knowledge ever, but like it's not set in stone. That's what I've heard recently. I thought it was set in stone. I thought it was just like everything that ever was, never is, and never will be is on like in a book or something, in the Akashic records or something, not physically in a book, but like in like a little stored memory energy ball. I honestly don't know how it works, but it is what I've heard, what I've learned about the Akashic records. It's like all the knowledge ever, or that will ever be. But anyway, she's an Akashic record reader, so she can read the Akashic records, or like your personal Akashic record. It's really weird. But she like talks to these guides and these spirits, and when she was talking about the card reading, she was saying that a lot of other readers that she knows that read the Akashic records or like talk to spirits and all that, like they've been saying, the spirits are saying that, there's multiple timelines going on. You can't really say what's happening because there's so many timelines going on at the same time. But like there's always different timelines going on at at the same time. So I don't know. I feel like I want to talk to her about that and like ask what do they mean? Because I feel like there's always multiple timelines going on for every possibility. And she even explained that there's like a path for every decision. And I've talked about multiple personalities. No, I've talked about multiple realities or dimensions in this podcast episode all the time. If there's an episode titled like parallel realities or something, listen to that. But I don't think so. I don't think there's one. It's just kind of mentioned throughout. So anyways, with the multiple timelines going on, it's not really, you can't really say what's happening. So with this broken heart card being sideways, it's saying that, don't be so distraught, but don't be so excited at the same time either. Like, we don't really know what's going on. Don't get your energy worked up on this. Like, it's very más o menos right now. It's very this or that. It's not just, there's very stagnant energy right now, what I'm seeing. It's not being like, you're not elated, but you're not completely distraught about it. It's very neutral. Now, the next card that I pulled was in reverse, and it's the indecision card, which I thought was great. So upside, indecision is showing somebody in a red hood, and they're at a fork in the road. So they can easily take one road or they can take another road, and they're kind of just standing in the middle deciding which way they should go, left or right. Which is funny because, we have the left wing and the right wing in this wonderful system, right? So we only have two choices, basically, is what they're telling us. But reverse is saying that you may have just, gotten over, some indecision. So maybe you just finished voting and you didn't know who to vote for and you were indecisive. There was a lot of indecision going on. That's what this is saying. So there was a lot of indecision. It was either right or left, and a lot of people did not know what to do. But since this card is reversed, it would be present, and it's saying that it's happening now. You're in stagnant energy if it was upside. But it's in reverse, saying a lot of people are getting out of this, broken up kind of thing. Like this whole, they voted already, basically. They know who they want. Even though maybe they are maybe not too sure about their decision, it's over with whatever it is. You are now coming out of this space of indecisiveness, and now you can move on. Now you can carry on with your life. Now you can be like, all right, well, I voted, whatever happens, basically. Unless you're a very active person in the industry, then you could do whatever you want after that. But this card is saying that, there was a lot of that indecisiveness, but we are now moving out of that. We're going to come to the conclusion already, and it is what it is. So then the next card that I pulled, that I was like, okay, well, because you know me, like if I get reverse cards, or kind of like iffy cards, I was just like, you do this and then whatever. I have to pull more cards to get clear understanding. So this was a 3-card spread. So we're starting off with this neutral energy. Don't get too worked up. It could be either or. We're moving out of that indecisiveness. Whatever happens. I'm seeing a lot of go with the flow at this point, with these cards. So what Spirit is trying to tell you, or what the universe is trying to tell you, is that, we had to deal with these decisions, but now we're trying to move forward from it. We're done with that. So now the last card that I pulled is the Door to Spirit card. Now we've had this card before, but it's perfect representation or example of what is happening, what is actually happening. So the Door to Spirit card, it's showing an open door and this white dove flying out and all this like magical, beautiful particles coming out of it. This is the door to spirit. Now I'm going to read you exactly what this card says. Now from the spread that I have pulled, it seems that, since the second card was, we're moving on from that indecisiveness, that indecision. We are now opening the door to spirit. This is the card of new beginnings. Okay. This is the card of, starting new projects. We may have released something and now we can actually move into our full potential. But let me just read to you what it says. So, okay, look, I just opened it. Door to spirit, spiritual awakenings and new beginnings. The door opens onto the expansive energetic realm where all new beginnings originate. The orbs of light are guiding you through the clouds of the earthly world, leading you to a deeper understanding of your eternal identity, the source of all true value and power. This door opens onto truly unlimited potential, for the changes that happen here reach deep into the core of your being. As such, this card often heralds your increasing powers in the spiritual arts and a deepening connection with the spiritual world. Don't be surprised if you find yourself becoming more intuitive, more aware of Spirit's presence, or more powerful in your own healing practices. Now is the time to open up to unexpected guidance and inspiration of Spirit and to the magic and power of your true identity. So, I like how it says this door opens onto truly unlimited potential, for the changes that happen here reach deep into the core of your being. Okay, so it's like exactly what I said, guys. So we're opening up the door to spirit. We're opening up the door to new potentials, to new opportunities. And that all comes after this everything, this whole thing that has been going, the stagnant energy, the indecision. We're opening the door to spirit, and this can be opening the door to our true potential, to our true selves. You know, we may have had these elections holding us back from whatever it is, from doing what we need to do, whether it even be the election. So because there's these elections and there's so much, energy everywhere, it causes, again, like how I said, the energy in the air is just so fragmented. It's just everywhere that even if you don't, like, you have nothing to do with the elections, you don't care about the elections, like, literally your life can be like, I don't want to say altered isn't the right word, but it can be disrupted. The energy in your own life can be disrupted, whether it has to do with the elections or not, but because of all the fragmented energy in the air, in the world, in the dimension, in the frequencies, right? So it doesn't always have to be directly related to you, but it is affecting you. It is affecting the world. So this can be just after all of this has been done with, all of this, after the energy starts to calm down, we are now learning to open ourselves up again, open our hearts again, open our minds again. A lot of people are very closed-minded right now. We're very opinionated right now. We're very political right now. And once we kind of get out of this phase, because we do go through phases, it's not like we argue about this all year. And if we do, we're probably in the industry, or we just care so much about politics because we don't have anything else to do with our lives and it's what interests us. But after all of this, we are allowing ourselves mentally, spiritually, energetically to open back up instead of having that door closed. So I thought that was a very interesting card spread. Again, the energy is very weird. At the end of this, I'm going to be listing some tips we can be doing to take care of ourselves during this time. Even, like, it doesn't have to do with anything. And it's so funny because, like, it's something I keep hearing from, like, classes at my yoga studio, or like teachers, like, oh, these are troubling times, we're trying to get through this. And like, it's because a lot of us are very opinionated and we're letting it get to us. So like a lot. And it may be like, okay, it's always been like this, but as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more aware of it because I'm older and I can become more aware of things like that. But when I was younger, I never, like, and maybe I did, well, when I was younger in school, like, I'm talking about, like, 5th grade or, like, 3rd grade, I'm like, oh, the president's getting elected, I didn't see how serious these people take it, and then, yeah, it's probably just always been like that, and I'm just becoming aware of it now because, I'm aware of things now. I'm aware of things now, guys. Okay, so, to follow up with this card, with the energy cards, each card comes with its own affirmation. I didn't really feel called to tell you any of those affirmations, but I did feel called to pull from the Universe Has Your Back deck, because the universe does have your back. This card deck is by Gabrielle Bernstein, and the card that I pulled for you guys, which is wonderful, is attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Could this not be a more perfect card, guys? Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Now, before I even explain this card, any form of separation. Now, when we talk about separation, we're not just talking about black or white, this or that. We're talking about separation from God. Now, God, or universe, or spirit, or the incomprehensible, the only way we could explain God is all that is not ego. And all that is ego, actually. But in this sense, it would be all that is not ego, because ego would be separation. So in God, we're talking about unity, right? Unity, consciousness, love, acceptance, willingness, beauty, unity. When we talk about God, unity, one, together. And this is this goes for everything, not just people, right? So any form of separation other than that, which would be anger, hate, sadness, grief, depression, hatred, I keep repeating the same ones, but you guys know what I mean, you know? So in this case, it says attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation. So these are all forms of separation, are merely calls for help. Now, I love this card, and this card is great because this is all we're hearing right now. This is all that's in the air right now. Attacks, pain, fear of who's going to win, fear of what's going to happen to the country afterward, fear of what's going to happen to the country now, judgment, judging others for their own political views, their own political opinions, and any form of separation, attacking people for having different opinions, attacking people for having different political views than you, pain from the people who are attacking you, pain for this country and what may happen, right? So all of this, these are all forms of separation. This is all not God. This is everything that's happening right now is not God. And, well, it is God in like a literal sense, which is really hard to explain to somebody who may not understand that God is everything and nothing. So it's both the black and the white. So to say one is not God is not true. But when we're talking about when it comes to ego, because ego is God, but it's like not the aim that we want to go for. It's like death, like killing someone. Like if you kill someone, that is also God, surprisingly. Like you could be stabbing somebody. Like I know this is very horrible and morbid, but it's a great representation. You know, you're killing somebody. That in itself, the action, the knife, the blood, the dead person, you, the murderer, are all God in essence, but it's not nice. You don't want to, like, when you think of God, you want to think nice, oh, lovely stuff, you know, butterflies, hearts, love. But God is also, you know, destruction, death, fire, blood. But anyways, I don't even know where I was going with that. Anyways, so since we have all this stuff, this card is saying are merely calls for help. Of course, fear is a call for help. We don't know what's happening. We don't really have a decision made, and it's kind of a call for help, as in, you know, we're anxious, we don't really know what to do, we're confused, right? We're confused, so we're attacking, we're feeling pain, we're judging others, we don't know what to feel, we don't know who to go for, we don't know who to support, we don't know who to be against. There's a lot of confusion, and this is all calls for help. These are all signs of separation from God and the universe. Now this deck is called The Universe Has Your Back. Now there's no need for us, and that's what I'm saying, like when it's separation from God, if we want to come back to God in this place, in this space, in this time, we need to calm down, because no matter what, the universe has your back. I'm not gonna say some like regular stuff that's not gonna do anything. Like that's not gonna do anything. Like, oh yeah, the universe has your back, you know, it's okay. Like, no matter what, this universe, the way the universe works, whatever's happening right now is meant to be happening. Like, I don't know okay, so say by me saying this, like, okay, whatever's meant to be happening is meant to happen. So I start this revolution, right? I start this giant revolution where all of the world is on my side. Like everybody, like whatever I say is gonna go because everybody's with it. Everybody's for it, right? So what I say is gonna be, let's say Trump will be president. Trump will be president. He will be a great president. He'll make America great again if it ever was great in the first place. It'll be all that. I'm very pro-Trump. Let's say that, right? So then all these people follow me. All of you follow me because whatever I say goes, right? So you all follow me. And then, well, you followed Trump, I guess, because but I'm the one who's saying Trump's great. So then you follow him or whatever. So anyways, that's one end of the spectrum, right? Everybody just follows Trump and then Trump becomes president and yay, pro-Trump. So then there's the other side of the spectrum where I'm like, all right, guys, no, Biden's the guy or whatever, whoever else. Biden, he's the one who's gonna make America great again or whatever, and everybody's like, yeah, go Biden. So then everybody goes Biden. That's another timeline, right? So there's a timeline where the entire country is for Trump and all of that. Then there's the other timeline where everybody's for Biden, all of that. Then there's another timeline where, you know, we're for somebody else. Or maybe there's another timeline where there's nothing. There's no two-system political party or whatever. Anyways, where was I going with that? I guess, okay, there we go. So then... So, so we can do that. We can go all for Trump or whatever. And then whatever happens in the world, that'll happen. Like, whatever happens after that, that's it. Like, life keeps going on. That's it. And then, in the other timeline, like, then that happens. You know, Biden becomes president, then that's it. That's what happens. And then the life continues from there on. And the same goes for every other timeline. Whatever happens is going to happen, and then life is going to keep going on. So... whatever happens is meant to happen. I don't even know if there's a good explanation of whatever happens is meant to happen, because all of the timelines, every possibility, and we're going to go back into multiple realities and dimensions right now, whatever is going to happen because it's all happening at the same time. Trump already won. Biden already won. The other parties already won. And there's a timeline in existence where like every possibility is possible, and they're all happening simultaneously. They're all happening at the same time. And it's funny because in the Bhakti Sangha talk that I attend every week for my yoga teacher program, we were literally just talking about this yesterday, about, you know, parallel realities and multiple realities, how it's all happening at the same time. And in any moment, we can choose which timeline we want to be on. It's said with every breath, a new universe is created. So, and that's every second, every breath, every inhale and exhale that we take, a new universe is created, a new reality is created, a new path is created, and they're all happening at the same time. So whatever's happening is already happening. If you want to, and I've talked about this, how to create your reality, all of that. If you want to put yourself in a certain timeline, and like, okay, if you're very political and then you want to exercise the law of attraction and you're like, I want Trump to win or I want Biden to win, then put yourself in that reality. You are in complete control of your reality. All parallel realities are happening at the same time, and we're constantly jumping through time loops. We're constantly jumping through these realities. Every second, every breath that we take, we are switching to a different reality. So, if you want to put yourself in that reality, knock yourself out. Go into that timeline where Trump won. Go into that timeline where Biden won. Or you can just kind of play it out, because whatever happens is going to play out anyways, whether you try to control it or not. So, anyways, with that being said, any form of separation are merely calls for help. And this can go for the same for our president, for Trump, who attacks people verbally or like attacks cultures. I don't really know specifics on what he does, but I've heard, you know, he's very, I think he's racist, but I'm not too sure. I don't know if he's racist. I haven't heard anything from him that, I've never looked up, like, you know, Trump being racist. Like, I don't listen to anything he says, so I've never heard him be racist, but I think I've heard that he's racist. Maybe he didn't do too much for like the BLM movement, or maybe he's like starting wars in other countries. I don't really know, but I heard he's very he's creating more separation. That's what a lot of people's problems. But a lot of people's problem is that they're the ones creating separation. Not saying that he's not creating separation, but I'm not saying that you guys are creating even more unity. But anyways, that can be said for him, who, you know, attacks people, or even, you know, even in presidential debates, like, not even him, like, Biden can be the same, or any other candidate, you know, attacking each other, judging each other, or like kind of going at each other to be on the top, right? To make the other one look bad, to make themselves seem better. These are all merely calls for help. And whether, you know, oh, they're just trying to make this person look bad, so, you know, more people vote for this person, obviously, so they can be more for this person. It's like a marketing tactic or something. Even that is a call for help, because, like, if you have that much, you know, like, you may not be so confident in yourself if you have to attack other people, you know, or like if you have to point out the flaws in other people. And like, I guess I know it's a good way to be like, well, you know, this person hasn't really done so much in this past few years, but I can do this much. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But like, just show what you do rather than just attacking the other person or judging or going at the other person. But anyways, that's the affirmation for the week and this whole wow, bless me, thank you. I think that was the first time I've ever sneezed on this podcast. Out of almost the whole year that I've done this podcast every week, I think it was my first time sneezing. That's how true it is, guys. That's the universe talking to us. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Now, I don't know how much hate I'm going to get for this episode. Probably, oh my gosh. Probably not too much, because I didn't get really any hate for the BLM episode that I did, which was surprising because I thought I was going to get a lot of hate for. But it's a very neutral stance. Like, you can't really hate me for being neutral. Even though it may sound like I'm for somebody, I don't think it does. I don't think it sounds like I'm for anybody. Because I'm really not. I really don't care. But anyways, that was our card spread, guys. What I got from this card reading was that we gotta relax. We gotta stop being so opinionated, stop caring so much about things that are gonna happen anyways. I'm not saying don't care about, okay, let me talk about that. I'm not saying don't care about this country and the outcome and all of that, because like, okay, so people may say, like, by me saying I don't care about the outcome or all this, like, I really must not care for, you know, America, the health of America, the people of America. And I do care for the people of America. I care for the people all around the world. It's kind of like a BLM thing, you know, like, oh, like, you know, I care, like, BLM or whatever, but, you know, all lives matter, like, type thing. That's not what I'm saying, but that's what it sounded like when I said that. I care for everybody, okay? I care for the whole world. I care for the world's outcome. Now, it's very interesting because, you know, the American elections, these are very important to the whole world. A lot of countries depend on America, and when it comes to like trading and all of that stuff, a lot of countries are waiting to find out who's going to be the president because it affects their country as well. We are a very big financial hub of the world. So of course I care what's going to happen with this country, but since I care, I'm not going to add another opinion or add another viewpoint, or, you know, I'm not going to add another side to things. I'm not going to exert energy that doesn't need to be exerted. So what I mean is, by, you know, putting active energy into all of this stuff, into the elections or politics or movements or all of that, because I've had my fair share of that, guys. Literally, since I was young, I have been in many movements. I've been an active activist since I was probably 11, when originally starting with global warming. I was a huge global warming advocate, climate change, since I was probably 10 or 11. Was very active in that. And then I kind of got out of activism. It was very minor, but I was very pro-awareness of things, especially global warming. And then some other stuff that rose up, like random movements I would be in. And then what was next? Oh, it's funny, I recently just posted yesterday, the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes Day. I was part of Anonymous for a little while, anonymously. And I posted some pictures of that. I deleted them. I took them off social media. But I posted some pictures of me in my anonymous days. And that was when I became very aware of how corrupt this system actually is. So I was a part of that for a little while. But then I moved on from that. And that was kind of like the end of that for me. Because I was very active in that. And that was also the beginning of my spiritual journey, or it wasn't really the beginning. It was kind of like the main beginning. So like I've started my spiritual journey since I was very young, but it really took off during this time. And that's why I was very into Anonymous, into that movement of against the government and corruption, just because I became very aware of it and wanted to obviously do something about it as much as everybody else does. But there's a picture that greatly represents this, and I even posted this. I posted in one of the slides that I usually post on Instagram to advertise weekly episodes. A few months ago. Oh wait, did they win? Oh no, I thought they won. I thought they won. Both of them won. I posted it in one of the slides. It was few months ago, but it's like a little kid, and he's like reading books, and he's like behind this like beat up wall. Looks like he's in the ghetto, and he's like reading these books, and all he can see is the wall of the ghetto, right? Then he like stands on these books, and he can look above the wall, and he sees all the corruption. He sees the world on fire. He sees all of this. He sees all of that. And that was me at the point where I'm starting on the journey, and I'm starting to learn, and I'm starting to see all the corruption and the destruction and everything that's happening, and it looks horrible. But then next to it is even a kid standing on even more books, and it just goes up and up and up, and then it goes above that, which is kind of like a screen over it. And then it's like looking over the screen, and then you see like, grassy hills and, beautifulness. So the picture is basically saying that, the more you learn, it's like you become more aware of things, but you just become more aware. So once you move on from that, kind of very corrupted viewpoint, you start to see the other side of it. And what the other side of it is, there is corruption, but like it's there. It's like, I don't know. I can't really say anything on it. I really can't. Of course there's gonna be corruption. I can't say whether there will always be corruption, because like, to my viewpoint, we live in a reality that is very dualistic, but it seems as we're moving towards unity consciousness. So what I'm trying to understand is, will there always be duality, because that's just how this dimension works? Like, that's how this reality works? Because if there were no duality, if there were no this or that, then this reality wouldn't really exist in that way. And if we move into unity consciousness where there is no this or that, and there is only one, then this reality wouldn't exist anymore. So I want to say that in this reality, there will always be corruption, because there is always that goodness, since there is always the black and the white in this reality. We live in this dualistic kind of viewpoint. There will always be corruption. That's what I want to say. But if we are moving towards a unity consciousness in a physical sense, then there may not always be corruption. So I can't really say anything on that, because I don't know. But what I do want to say is that you learn, there will always be that corruption. There will always be the people fighting the corruption. And then there will always be the other side of the spectrum, where there's the understanding of corruption, and the understanding of duality, and the understanding that the good is greater than the bad, I guess you can say. So like, there will be that corruption, and then like, oh, but we have to do something about it, but no matter what, the universe is flowing. The universe is happening naturally. Whatever is unnatural will not happen, I guess you can say. So like, if like, the universe will balance it out, basically. It's kind of like, if the world becomes unbalanced, the universe knows how to balance it back out, because that's just how the universe works. That's just what's happening. Like, that is just something that happens. It's the natural flow of everything. It's the yin and the yang. If there's too much yang, which is probably very much this action forward energy, this very warlike go-getter kind of energy, if it becomes too yang energy, the universe is already going to know how to balance that back out. And it will do whatever means it needs to. It will be the flood of Noah's Ark. Like, whatever the universe needs to do, the world needs to do, the earth needs to do to balance itself out, it will. Okay. And as much as we love to control things as humans, as we want to take control and be responsible for the balancing of the universe, like the Avatar, we can't, because there's only so much we can control. There's only so much we can do personally as humans. So, of course, we can put our energy and fight against this stuff, because why not? But it's not absolutely necessary. For somebody who feels like, you know, they feel like they should, but they don't really want to, like, it's not really your part to. Like, everybody has their part. There will be people's parts that are meant to fight the corruption. Like, if you are drawn to fight corruption and you are drawn to make a movement or make an impact, then that is probably your purpose. That is what you are meant to do, and you are part of the people who are meant to fight that corruption, because there will always be people who want to fight the corruption. But then there's also the people who want to fight the corruption and don't really want to fight the corruption, or don't really care about the corruption, and they keep living on their blissful lives. So then you could do that too. That's your part. There's always going to be people with their parts. It's not like everybody's part is to take action in, you know, fighting corruption. And I guess you could, like, I guess you can say that, like, sure, it's everybody's, you know, privilege, everybody's responsibility to, you know, take action against corruption, because, you know, it's helping the people. We don't want us to be corrupted by it. How do I say that? Like, we don't want our governments, you know, going, like, how do I say this? Like, we don't want corruption, basically. Like, if you don't want corruption, you should be able to fight it. It's your duty to fight against corruption, because if you don't want it, then fight it. Which I understand. I completely get that. Like, yeah, sure. Like, go ahead. Knock yourself out. I swear. Like, go. Like, fight against it. I'm not against it whatsoever. But then, like, then everybody's gonna be doing that. I just, like, no matter what, there's gonna be corruption. Like, if we fight it, like, we can fight it all you want, but then somebody within that is going to become corrupt. You know, somebody could be leading the revolution, and then they become corrupt. You know, they want all the power for themselves. It's just the energy is just going to go somewhere else. It's going to find its way into another space. It's going to, say we create a revolution, we take this whole entire country down, we take the whole world down, right? Like, corruption is gone, yay! But within that, there are corrupted individuals. You can't pretend like there's not. So, there's always going to be that. So by me saying this, what I'm trying to say is that there will always be the people who want to fight corruption. Then there will always be the corrupted. There will always be the people who become corrupted, who are corrupted. And then there will always be the people who don't care. There will always be the people who care too much. There will always be the people who play their parts, right? So wherever you find yourself at the time, then it's fine, it's perfect, everything is happening the way it needs to be. No need to exert any more energy or any less energy, okay? Because whatever is happening is meant to happen. Everything is divine timing. If somebody's meant to win the presidency, they will win the presidency. If they're not meant to win the presidency, they will not win the presidency. And depending on which timeline, which reality, which dimension you live in, then that's what it will, that's what it will be. That's how true it is. So, that's that. I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but I know damn well this country isn't going down. I heard a lot of things like, oh, people are getting ready for, you know, the next civil war. Like, I saw something online that was like, post election, backpack or some shit or something like that. It's like, we don't know what's, you know, we've been in times of uncertainty, we don't know what's gonna happen. So it was like a bag with like make sure you pack important documents, water, your chargers, your laptop. Like, what are you packing for? Like, where are you gonna go? Like, where do you plan, what do you expect to happen? Like, what's gonna happen? What, everybody's gonna start rioting, and then like, what, you're gonna have to leave your house? Well, because they're destroying your house? Okay, say that happens, right? Okay, then where are you gonna go? Like, you think you're gonna be able to leave the country? What, you think that since Trump is president, he's gonna, close all the borders and lock us inside of this country? Like, and people are probably like, yeah, like, you never know. Like, you need to relax. Like, if you want to put yourself in that timeline, go pack your bag right now, go scan all your documents, charge your phones, charge your portable chargers, pack your cats and your dogs, like, go, knock yourself out. I'm gonna be sitting here waiting to see if that happens. If that happens, then I'll calmly pack my bag and go off to the mountains somewhere, or wherever the hell everybody else is going, wherever they think they're going. I'm not gonna go wherever, but I don't think anybody knows where the hell they're gonna go after that. But I'll probably be hijacking a private jet plane out of this country, if that happens. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Like, I think we just need to freaking relax. Like, people are gonna riot. People are rioting anyways. This country's gonna be fine. And I don't know. I think it's gonna be alright, guys. I don't know about you. I mean, if you're completely distraught about everything I just said, then feel free to reach out to me. I would love to hear somebody tell me, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I want you to tell me, because then I'll probably read it in the next episode, just so everybody who listens to this episode would hear it. But I highly doubt it. I mean, I don't think anything's gonna happen. Whatever happens, happens. And no matter what, like, okay, say you want to take a political stance, like, okay, you don't like Trump, but you're not a very, like, active person in you know, all of this movement stuff, but you really don't want Trump to win. So say he wins, right? And you're very upset. But there are small actions that we can do, guys. Like we can take action in our cities, in our towns. So if we're not really happy with our president, right? There's a lot of movements going on, a lot of nonprofit organizations. I really don't know what they can do. But I would look into those, I guess. I don't really know what that means, but, you know, it's worth checking it out. I'm only saying that because of, like, you know, BLM movements. You know, you want to help in the BLM movement, there's nonprofit organizations. I don't really know what those do. I guess I don't know. I heard one, like, you donate money and it just pays for, like, the transportation for people to protest, but it's kind of dumb for me. But I don't really know what those, like, I wouldn't suggest doing it. Like, unless you know that it does something for whatever it is you feel strongly about, then yeah, do it. But I don't know. I don't really trust any of those. But anyways, before we end this, let's talk a little bit about things we can do for our mental health in this high energy times. So right now, it's all about mental health and energy, right? So let's see. We need to be taking care of our minds. I say we need to consume the news less if we haven't been already. Maybe none of you listen to the news. That's great. I'm so proud of you guys. But say some of you do listen to the news. Maybe occasionally, maybe only now because there's elections going on. I say lessen your news consumption. Hold on one second. My nose has been, like, super weird this morning. So lessen your news consumption, definitely, indefinitely. Another thing, journal. Write down your feelings or your emotions. Write down your opinions. If you're very politically opinionated, or if you're just very opinionated on all of this, join like a forum, or like one of those, like, open poetry stuff, or like open view stuff where you can share your belief systems and views with other people who may or may not feel the same as you in a very artistic way. Journal. Speak about it with a friend. Talk to somebody about it. Talk to your dog or cat about it. Do creative expression. Draw. Paint. Destroy stuff. Set things on fire. Write down all the things that you... This is a great spiritual practice, guys. You want to do a spiritual practice with me? Let's do this, right? Spiritual practice. I feel like I should be like a spiritual comedian or something. No, I'm not that funny. Okay, so let's do this, right? Let's write down all the stuff we care about this election. Like, okay, I care that, you know, about immigration, you know, like, what are we gonna do with all the kids in cages? What are we gonna do? Like, that's freaking horrible, first of all. Like, nobody's doing anything about this. Whether, like, I just like to point this out, that every president that we've ever had has never done anything about this. It's just something that's just happening. You know, it's just like, oh, other things need to be addressed. Like, that's just to give you a little viewpoint on who we have as candidacies or candidates in this election. Not this election specifically, in all elections. But let's just write down all this that we're concerned about, you know, immigration control or whatever, you know, COVID, the rules of the country, I don't know, whatever laws you care about, whatever you feel passionate about. Write down all your concerns about the elections, about the president, about this country, about other countries, the world. Write down all your concerns. Write down all of it. Write down, like, all the things you're worried about, all the things you're scared about. All of that. That was a blow of the nose. Okay, so once you have it all written down, right? Now this is not this part, not the writing part, but the part that I'm about to mention was something that we did in the Bhakti Sangha I joined yesterday. It's kind of like it's a very Shaivite practice. So what we did was we created scissor shapes in our hands. I'm not telling you guys to do this, but I'm just telling you what happened. We created like scissor shapes in our hands, you know, with our index and our middle fingers. And then we like snipped in the air, like we were cutting stuff. And we said, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And as we're singing Om Namah Shivaya, chanting Om Namah Shivaya, we are imagining all the stuff all the memories, all the experiences we've had, all of the, just things that we hate, all the things in our minds that we hate, all those moments, and we're cutting them up into shreds as if they never happened. We're destroying them. We're setting them on fire. We're imagining Shiva destroying them, taking his trident and cutting them all up, setting them ablaze with his third eye, you know, just getting rid of it, destroying it. What the heck? That was my stereo. That was scary. Just getting rid of it, you know, getting rid of all of it while we're chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and we're getting rid of it. So, in this case, with all of our fears and all of the things that we're concerned about, and all of this were written on paper, rip that shit up. Rip it into a million pieces. I would say set it on fire. If setting it on fire makes you feel good, I would say rip it up to pieces and then set it on fire. Because just ripping the action of ripping that paper and doing all of that, that is so relieving, and it does stuff for you very energetically and mentally. Mentally, you're thinking like, oh my God, I'm ripping this stuff up. I hate this stuff. And you're mentally getting rid of it in your head. You're putting this action of you don't care about it into your head because you're getting rid of it. Since you're getting rid of it, it doesn't need to be on your mind. You don't care about it, right? So just putting that in your mentality as you're ripping it up will help. And especially energetical wise, those words that you put in there, those fears, those things that you care about, they hold their own energies. And as you're ripping it up, you're ripping up the energy that holds within it. You are getting rid of the energy ties that it has to you. You are destroying it. And then set that shit ablaze. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. If you want to use Shiva as a great representation, you want to know more about Shiva, listen to last week's episode. It was an intro into Hinduism. And I talk about Shiva a little bit. But yes, Shiva is the destroyer, right? So we are destroying all of that. We are getting rid of it. I think that's a great method that we can practice this week, or maybe today if you guys listen to it, if you've been feeling a little stressed about this. And what I say as your spiritual guidance counselor, take a break, take a rest. Get away from all the news. Put your phone on mute. Don't look at the TV. Don't play the radio. Don't do any of that. Take some time out for yourself. Read a book. Put your mind in a fictional place. If you want to put your mind in a fictional place, read a fiction book, fantasy book that kind of gets your mind away from everything. Or it could be a self-help book, a meditation, mindfulness book that you want to read, or just paint, draw, journal, write. Get it all out. Focus on something. Focus on yourself. Treat yourself to a good meal. Drink some hot tea. Do some gardening. Whatever it is that calms your mind, do it. That is my main exercise or main message for you this week. So remember with those cards, guys, we have the stagnant energy, the indecision that we're kind of coming out of, and we're opening the door to spirit. So we can choose now whether or not we would like to move forward and carry on with our lives and carry on with what we want to do, how we want to take part, and how we want to fulfill our purpose in life. Or we can, kind of just stick around and see what happens and hold this anxious energy within us. It's up to you. And just remember, fear, judgment, resentment, hate, attacking, pain, these are all forms of separation and all calls for help. Anybody who takes part in any of these actions has some inner healing that needs to be done. So, thank you so much, guys, for listening. This has been another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs. If you want to reach out to me and let me know your thoughts or rants or concerns, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Natalia of Earth, Natalia of Earth, this planet Earth. And I'm down to hear what you guys got to say. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope things lighten up for you. I hope something amazing happens in your life personally for you. I hope you achieve something great. I hope you create something great. I hope you inspire someone. I hope you tell someone you love them, and I hope they know that you love them. I hope you know that someone loves you, because I love you. I love you. If you don't know anybody loves you, I love you. So that is that for this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I love you so much, and I will close this off with a random verse from the Tao Te Ching. This is from verse 38. A truly good man is not aware of his goodness, and is therefore good. A foolish man tries to be good, and is therefore not good. A truly good man does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. A foolish man is always doing, yet much remains to be done. When a truly kind man does something, he leaves nothing undone. When a just man does something, he leaves a great deal to be done. When a disciplinarian does something and no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves in attempt to enforce order. Therefore, when Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is kindness. When kindness is lost, there is justice. When justice is lost, there is ritual. Now, ritual is the husk of faith and loyalty, and the beginning of confusion. Knowledge of the future is only a flowery trapping of Tao. It is the beginning of folly. Therefore, the truly great man dwells on what is real and what is on the surface, and not what is on the surface, Therefore, the truly great man dwells on what is real and not what is on the surface, on the fruit and not the flower. Therefore, accept the one and reject the other.